for Denison has the call.
Speaker, my question is to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, the National Disability Insurance Scheme is obviously an important reform, and in principle I support budget measures to better fund it. However, my constituents tell me the scheme has many problems. For instance, they talk about an impenetrable and impersonal bureaucracy, as well as hopeless delays with internal reviews which lead to unnecessary distress and frustration for families. Prime Minister, if ever there was a government program that just had to be user-friendly, then this is it. So what will you do to better respond to community concerns? What will you do to ensure the NDIS works effectively for all people with disabilities and for their families?
The Prime Minister has the Minister for Social Services.
Mr Speaker, I thank the member for Denison for his question. There's, I think, a general and specific answer to your question. The general answer is with respect to what has become known inside the NDIA as the Pathways Review. So a very thorough, own motion initiated review started by the new NDIA board into the experience of all participants has been conducted and concluded. And that involved consultations in the hundreds with stakeholders and with individual participants. The more specific answer is that if there are ever, and this applies to any member here, and many members see me from time to time, any individual case where you think that there has been bureaucratic excess or a problem or a delay, you are very welcome to come to my office, explain it and put it to me, and I extend this invitation meaningfully to you, because that will allow us not only to assist the individual but also feed that experience in a confidential way back into what is an ongoing effort to improve performance and experiences. But if I might just provide you, member, with a little bit of context. Reported at the end of the last quarter, we have moved 78,000 participants into the NDIS, and that represents about an 82% of the original bilateral estimates, which were very ambitious, as has been noted in many quarters. Now, there were original problems experienced with the payment portal, and in the first several weeks after we went to full transition, there were payment success rates hovering around about 70%. They have now moved up to a much better 93%. The number of participants that we've actually moved in Tasmania represents 97% of the bilateral estimate. So we are actually doing better than the national average in Tasmania. And the number of participants who have moved in, who have responded to us, describing their experience, their pathway as participants, as either good or very good, as is noted in the last quarterly report, is 90%. Now, that's a good figure, but I'm not pretending that there are people there who haven't experienced that highly consistent level of performance through the pathway that we would want. So what I would just extend to you again is the genuine invitation to come and speak with me about individual cases that you might have encountered that can help us continually improve. But I would also reaffirm the fact that the NDIA board, the NDIA executive, and there is a new CEO now of the NDIA, are absolutely committed to understanding difficulties that are arising. And where there is 90% of people in Tasmania saying that their experience is good or very good, we acknowledge that there's 10% room for significant improvement. So perhaps if we could have a talk about that, but in an overarching way, we are very live to issues and problems and working very, very hard to improve the experience for all participants.
The member for